Attention humanitarian and development professionals. Are you looking to take your career to the next level? Then you've come to the right place. Humanitarian Global offers self-paced online courses designed specifically for you. With our comprehensive curriculum, you'll build your capacity in the most critical areas of humanitarian and development work. Our course offerings include monitoring, evaluation, accountability and learning, water, sanitation and hygiene, disaster risk reduction and management, food security and nutrition in emergencies, procurement and supply chain management, human nutrition and dietetics, maternal, infant and young child nutrition. With Humanitarian Global, you'll have the opportunity to grow your skills and impact the lives of people in need. Visit our website to learn more about our courses and apply today.
Hi everyone, I believe you can all hear me. If you can hear me, just say hi so that we can be able to start. And I know that my voice is loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Sheilah. Good. My name is Sheilah from Humanitarian Global, and I will be the moderator for today's session. Kindly note the webinar for today is WASH in Schools, Getting to Understand the 3-Star Approach, and we have been joined by our expert today, who will be Susan Masela. So we will definitely start with introductions. Allow me to first just break the ice and have our team from HG who have been able to make this webinar a success, just to be able to introduce themselves, and then now we can embark on what is meant for today. But I do hope you're all well and you are ready to learn something. Big shout out to Mumtaz Muhammad from Somalia, Davlat, Clement, Huya, thank you so much for joining. Daniel, thank you so much. Abdinas, thank you. Innocent, thank you. Welcome, Bedasa. Thank you so much. I had seen Guya, I had seen Stephen Katam from Ghana. Welcome. Welcome, Alex. Welcome, Maui N, as well as Paul Mabany, and finally Mohammed from Yemen, and also Engineer Moses Daniel. So thank you so much for joining. Once you're able to say hi, I'll be able to also say hi back to you. And I do look forward to really getting to learn a lot, even from you as the participants for this webinar. So if you have a question, I would always insist that use the Q&A section. And then if you just have any brief information or just want any clarification, please also use the chat feature. Bosco, you're having a challenge, you'll be able to sort it out for you. And welcome so much, Isaiah. So with that, let me give the HG participant, the HG people, a chance to be able to just say hi, and then we can be able to proceed from there. And I think I will start with Brian. Please say hi to the team.
Hello, I hope you can hear me. My name is Brian. As Sheila said, part of the technical team that ensures everything runs well in the background. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to a resourceful event. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Brian. We truly appreciate what you're doing at the back end. And then we can have Ian as well saying hi to us. Ian.
Thank you, Sheila. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you're joining us from. I'm looking forward to, a learning session, and I'm really happy to be here. In case of any questions, please engage us on the chat, on the Q&A, and I will be able to assist even as we continue with the session. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Ian. He will be helping you with your questions or comments or clarifications on chat as well as Q&A. And to also say hi to Josephat. Hi, Caleb, welcome. Welcome, Fayaz, as well as Manut from Juba. Welcome, Muluiso from Lesotho, and finally, Abishu from Ethiopia. So with that, allow me to also bring on board the expert for today, just to say hi, and then she will join us later to give us what she has prepared for us based on the topic for today. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you very much, Sheila. Kindly confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'll start by apologizing before I introduce myself. I've been out in the field, as you can see, I'm in a car, but at least I've pulled over somewhere so that there's no interruptions with the internet and you're able to get, what we'll be talking about clearly. So my name is Susan Masila. I'm a WASH expert with several years of experience, over 10 years, both in Kenya and outside in the East African region. And I'm happy to be joining this session today to talk about WASH in schools, which is a very dear subject to me. And I hope it will be a very interactive, very informative session for all of us. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm happy that she's in the field. So that means we will really get some very practical examples and how we can be able to apply as she's currently doing. Currently, she's telling us as well. Thank you so much, Susan, for that experience. And then let me say hi to also Felix, to Mulugeta, hi Manju, and finally, how are you, Adishina? So with that, Ian has something in store for us, even before we get to go to the topic of today. I would want to bring him on board just to give us a snippet of what Humanitarian Global has in store for us based on the plan, in terms of, or anything surrounding WASH for that matter. Welcome, Ian.
Thank you, Sheilah. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time to join our session. So as Sheilah mentioned, and I love it that she mentioned that, Susan is in the field and really engaging. So it's quite practical in terms of what we are covering this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. So just to, back it up and just to let you know what's really happening behind the scenes here at Humanitarian Global. We also have organized additional learning sessions aside from what we'll be covering today, which is essentially about WASH in schools and understanding the 3-star approach. We also have additional topics that we'll be able to delve into in this coming month of April, specifically around WASH. I know I can see we are around 91 participants here, and we all have varied experience when it comes to WASH. We all interact differently when it comes to WASH. There's some of us who are in healthcare. There's some of us who, specifically WASH in schools is their subject of topic or their area of interest. And that's part of the content that we'll be covering as we start this new month of April. We just coming towards the end of March. So we have some topics that we'll be covering this new month of April. And allow me to just delve deeper into 3 of these areas that we'll be covering. So number 1, and probably I'll just share my screen so that you can also follow with me as we continue. But as I mentioned, we have 3 areas that we'll be covering even as we continue in this month of March. One of them is water sanitation and hygiene in a humanitarian and development context. We also have WASH in healthcare settings during emergencies, which is quite critical, just talking about WASH in specific healthcare settings. And lastly, and pertaining to the topic of today, which is WASH in schools. And in addition, we've added some components of, menstrual hygiene management, which is quite critical, again, especially considering the specific age groups that we'll be dealing in a school setting. So when it comes to, this content, I just want to give you some few facts that I was trying to, delve deeper as I was trying to do my research. And something that's really struck me is in low and middle income countries, according to WHO, 38% of healthcare facilities lack improved water sources, 19% do not have improved sanitation, and 35% actually lack water and soap for hand washing. So that's why we do understand that WASH is a critical aspect, even as we learn more about the topic of the day. And according to WHO as well, by 2025, they're saying that half of the world's population will be living in water-stressed areas. So it's quite critical for us to be empowered to learn more about aspects of WASH, so that in the areas that we are currently engaged in, we actually do engage ourselves in projects or interventions that are actually impacting the communities in the areas that we come from. So as we delve deeper into that, as I mentioned, we have 3 areas. Number 1 is the topic of the day, which is WASH in schools. And basically this topic will just be able to help you to assess situation in existing schools and identify the extent to which schools meet WASH standards and targets. It will also help you to prepare and implement comprehensive and realistic plans to monitor and evaluate WASH in schools programs, as well as to promote the sustainable delivery of basic and universal access to drinking water, sanitation, and hand washing in schools. As I mentioned, this course will also have aspects of menstrual hygiene management, and in addition to what the content that I mentioned earlier, will also help us to recognize the connection between MHM, that is menstrual hygiene management, and the SDGs, particularly goal number 3, that is good health and well-being, goal number 4, quality education, and goal number 5, which is gender equality. And in addition to that, we'll be able to develop practical strategies and action plans for promoting safe and hygienic menstruation practices within various contexts. Secondly, as I mentioned, we also have another training in WASH in healthcare settings, and just put into consideration the statistics that I shared earlier. This training will be quite critical to enable you to understand the importance of WASH in healthcare during emergencies. It will also help you to recognize the impact of inadequate WASH on public health, to develop strategies for effective emergency preparedness, and also demonstrate the implementation of water sanitation and hygiene in measures in healthcare settings. So there are 3 critical aspects which we'll cover in that training workshop. Number 1 is emergency preparedness and planning. Secondly is an implementation of WASH measures, and also just to help us understand the health impacts of WASH pertaining to the vulnerable communities that are involved in that sector as well. And lastly, as I mentioned, we also have a training that is the water sanitation and hygiene in a humanitarian and development context, which is quite, well-rounded and holistic in terms of our approach to WASH. So I would encourage all of us to be able to sign up for these programs. It's for the WASH in a humanitarian and development context, as well as the WASH in healthcare settings. It's going to be happening between the 8th to the 19th of April. It's an online class. And we also have the WASH in schools coming up on the 22nd of April. So we'll be able to share the links to allow you to register for these trainings. And also, if you'd like, to get more assistance in terms of understanding the content, how do you register for yourselves in these trainings, please share with us your contacts in the chat section, and I will be able to engage you after this webinar. So that's it from me. I'm looking forward to meeting you all in class this coming April, and I do wish you all the best as you prepare. Back to you, Sheilah.
Great. Thank you so much, Ian, for that. And I truly appreciate the use of statistics and data to be able to make knowing that WASH is really a very important component that us as humanitarians need to really consider. So please take up that information with all that you can, and please make a point to reach out to us if you need more information, or you just need to be able to get more more information, and just anything else that you feel that will support you towards joining the class. Will be very much helpful towards making that happen. So with that, I think we can get really straight to it, to what we have in store for us. And I want to say hi to Mawien from South Sudan in Juba. We have Kamith from Zanzibar. We have Ronald as well. And finally, we have Hassan. Just a clarification, we will be sharing the PowerPoint and a presentation by close of business tomorrow. So do bear with us on that. And I'm sure by tomorrow you'll be able to catch up on what you would have missed after today's session. With that, I think I would now take this chance to bring on board Susan to take over the session. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Sheilah. I think we can proceed. Thank you very much for that introduction. So we'll go straight into it, because normally the 1 hour really flies quickly and there's normally so much to get covered. So let's get into it. I will share my screen. Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, so we will talk a lot more today about, how we measure the progress of WASH in schools, how we are able to assess where a school lies in terms of facilitating that access to wash facilities in the schools. We'll also talk about some other partners who could step in to assist the schools and how they can do so. Okay, so we will dwell on the 3-star approach, as you can see on the screen. But before we talk about the 3-star approach, I think it's important for us to understand, why WASH in schools is important. WASH facilities in schools and healthy children go hand in hand. WASH facilities show and teach children about good hygiene behavior. Clean and safe WASH facilities in schools will motivate children to advocate for latrines in their own community or toilets in their own community, or to push for construction of latrines when they grow up, okay? Because that is what they've seen. So WASH in schools is important because school community then becomes healthier, all right? Because they're accessing facilities as they should, and that means that if it's fecal matter, it is being managed and contained safely. Another importance of WASH in schools is that students perform better, and we will talk about it a bit more. The third is that it provides an excellent opportunity for parent involvement. Remember, there's a lot of consent that needs to be sought in involving children. And of course, as you're asking children to wash their hands, and you're also teaching the parents that, these are the reasons why we are telling children to wash their hands, and so on and so forth. The fourth is that WASH in schools promotes gender equality or equity, meaning that once you have segregated stalls, a stall for boys, a stall for girls, it means that girls are able to feel safe as they access these facilities in schools. They don't have to hold maybe their pee or their, if they need to, do number 2, then they don't need to hold it until the end of the day, which of course will have implications, further down the road. It allows for them to feel, important, just as important as the other gender. The fifth being that WASH in schools invests lifelong positive skills. So the first being that it improves children.
Sorry about that, everyone. I think Susan, as she had mentioned, I think her being out in the field is not favoring her that much, but let's keep on engaging, let's keep on talking. Let's have all those questions that you have under WASH in schools.
As we await, our expert to be back, I'd just like to, so in the WASH in schools, as I mentioned, the dates that are coming up are between the 22nd of April to the 3rd of May. It's going to be a 10 days workshop, and basically this is what we'll expect to be covered in that class. So the first module will just get to do an introduction to WASH in schools, get to understand the role of WASH in schools, and I believe, Paul, this will be very insightful for you based on the question that you had raised earlier. Also, just to help us understand the overarching considerations for the design of an effective WASH in schools response, and also get to understand the implementation of an effective WASH in schools design. So basically, just to do an introduction to WASH in schools, get to understand the considerations, and this will specifically pertain to Paul's question because each situation is unique, and also how to implement an effective design for WASH in schools based on the specific context that you are currently engaged in, and this will be quite critical for you. In the second module, we'll be talking about a safe and enabling environment, which is what will be covered in the second module. So basically, what will be covered in that is the supply of safe and sufficient WASH in schools, sanitation structures and ventilation in a school setting, solid waste management in schools, standard operating procedures in schools to enable environmental hygiene. So that will just help you to understand how to enable an environment that is safe for the participants in that specific setting. And thirdly, in the third module, we'll get to understand about hygiene behavior and health procedures. Just get to understand the importance of hand and respiratory hygiene. Also get to understand about hygiene behavior in food preparation and menstrual health management. And lastly, health procedures for screening in case management. So that will be covered in the third module, basically to just help us understand about hygiene behavior and specific health procedures for the different, situations that we find ourselves in. Then the fourth module, we'll get to understand more about breaking the silence on menstruation, which is quite critical, especially in the age that we are living in. There's the stigma that comes with that, but we also need to understand that, this is a normal thing, but how do we enable that, we ensure that, how do we ensure that we're able to break the silence when it comes to menstruation? So we'll get to understand an introduction to menstrual hygiene, also get to understand the myths, misconceptions, and taboos, and how you'll be able to break it down to the specific participants in the setting, and also get to understand the facts about menstruation. And in the fifth module, we'll get to understand about safe and hygienic management of menstruation. So an introduction to menstrual hygiene products and materials, wash facilities that are required to manage menstruation safely and hygienically, the management of PMS, discomforts and illnesses resulting from managing menstruation, and lastly, safe and hygiene practices and management during menstruation. And lastly, we'll get to do and get to delve deeper into conducting needs assessment and monitoring the interventions that we've come up with. So basically, how to conduct on monitoring and evaluation of WASH services. Also will help you to understand the emerging issues and trends in WASH in schools. And lastly, WASH and MHM intervention in schools, just basically just to do a case study and get deeper insights into that. So these are just some of the things that we'll be able to cover in that topic. I can see Susan is back. Susan, I don't know whether you're able to hear me, and we are sorry for the challenge that you had. Probably just let me know.
Ian, apologies, my sincere apologies. I think my
No
internet
worries.
just abruptly dropped. Being in the field has its hazards. So it is a fact that WASH in schools improves children's health. It also increases attendance. A study done in Western Kenya revealed that due to improved WASH, there was a 50% reduction in ascaris infection, which contributed to reduction of absenteeism by 25%. In China, on the other hand, a study reveals that school hand washing with soap reduced absenteeism by 54%. So that just reiterates the importance of WASH in schools. WASH in schools promotes gender equity or equality, as we had mentioned. Clean, safe toilets encourage girls to stay in schools, especially during the menstruation period. In Kenya, a study showed that WASH reduced girls' absenteeism by 39%. So for every 10% increase in female literacy, we are saying that there is a potential for the economy to grow by 0.3%, which is a huge impact for sure. Involving communities goes hand in hand. Goes without saying, because children are they are effective change agents, and parents are also an untapped resource. So working through elected committees, informing stakeholders about the sequence of events or activities planned, as part of the school WASH club, is one way to get the parents and the larger community involved in school WASH activities. So when you talk about WASH-friendly schools, we're talking about schools that provide sustainable, child-friendly sanitation and hand washing facilities, and also provide adequate, safe drinking water to their school-going children. We're talking about a school that offers hygiene education on using toilets, washing hands with soap and water, and also drinking safe water. And finally, we're talking about a school that organizes school to home and community outreach activities for improved WASH. Okay. So we'll go straight into the 3-star approach in schools. And the 3-star approach in schools, we need to first start by saying that children have the right to water and sanitation and to health. Then this right needs to be fulfilled in schools where children spend much of their day. Adequate water and sanitation as part of a healthy school environment, and significantly improves a child's prospects to develop and thrive. All right. So the 3-star approach for WASH in schools is designed to advance the effectiveness of hygiene behavior change programs while ensuring that schools meet the essential criteria for providing a healthy environment for children. The approach was developed in response to recent bottleneck analysis of WASH in school programs worldwide and is modeled on successful programs such as the Fit for School program, which is supported by GIZ. Okay. In the 3-star approach, schools are encouraged to take simple steps to make sure that all students wash their hands with soap, have access to drinking water, and are provided with clean, gender-segregated, and child-friendly toilets at school every day, right? So that's generally an overview of the 3-star approach, and we will talk about the characteristics of it. Basically, the 3-star approach, as I mentioned, helps schools to meet the essential criteria for healthy and protective learning environment for children as part of a broader child-friendly schools initiative. It aims to address the bottlenecks that we will see in the key characteristics. So these are the characteristics as the 3-star approach, as far as the 3-star approach goes. There are 2 main stages in the 3-star approach. The first and most important stage is when a school commits to the overall approach and begins to make the necessary changes to progress from being a no-star school to a 1-star school that meets key minimum standards for a healthy hygiene promoting school. Okay. A no-star school is a way of describing many schools in developing countries, especially the schools that have no water, sanitation, and hygiene facilities or regular hygiene programming. This category includes schools that have some infrastructure, perhaps even high-cost water and sanitation systems, but do not have effective programs for improving hygiene behavior or maintaining existing infrastructure. So it goes beyond just having the infrastructure. There has to be the software elements of it accompanying the hardware elements. So these schools may also have little or no support from their host communities in the area of WASH. Okay. So moving from a no-star level to a 1-star school is designed to require minimal financial investments, yet the move is a big step because it involves changing the way WASH in schools programming is perceived by schools, communities, and decision makers in government and support agencies. So after schools achieve 1-star status, there is scope for moving up to 3-star status, of course. Many schools will be able to achieve 1-star status with their own resources and the support of the host communities. Reaching the other levels could require some external support and greater commitment from communities and the education sector. Okay. So schools achieve the 2-star status by making incremental changes in their hygiene education programs and modest upgrades to WASH facilities. So nothing drastic, just incremental. You're building on whatever is already existing. Okay? These changes are designed to facilitate the practice of hand washing with soap after toilet use, in addition to before meals, and to improve a school's ability to meet girls' needs by increasing the number of toilets and or improving privacy and usability. So 2-star schools will also introduce provisions for menstrual hygiene management, or MHM. These enhancements may include specific education sessions or supplying or making sure that there's stock of sanitary towels for girls to use in emergencies or when required. There could also be an improved toilet design that ensures privacy, allowing the girls to use to wash maybe their reusable clothes or stained clothing, and also provide proper disposal facilities for sanitary pads. Okay, so at the 2-star level, you would start to see the you're plugging in now into MHM. You're also doing a lot of hygiene promotion programs within the school and the community. To get to the 3-star status, schools make necessary upgrades to meet all national standards for WASH in schools, which helps to ensure countrywide equity of access. So we are not just talking about the community when you get to the 3-star level. We're talking about, what the national, the existing national legislative framework looks like, what that, what the implication is for schools in terms of infrastructure and hygiene, awareness creation and promotion. Okay. This incremental approach for improving WASH in schools is consistent with current development practices on the progressive realization of rights. It also follows the global guidelines established in water sanitation and hygiene standards for schools in low cost settings. So we'll quickly look at, what actions are involved in 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star, and what results could possibly be realized. Starting with the 1-star approach, we have a list of 3 interventions. So there's the daily supervised group hand washing with soap, ideally before school meals. And the results there would be that hand washing with soap becomes a habit. Then the students will see the need for hand washing before eating, and that behavior, of course, then is continuously reinforced. You will start to see children liking that daily activity and perhaps even looking forward to it because they perceive it as fun and interactive. And then the final result there would possibly be group hand washing sessions, providing a set time to deliver hygiene messaging. Okay. Then the second is daily supervised cleaning and provisioning with soap and water of toilets. So toilets now will begin to be used because they are clean. Okay. Consistently clean. Water and soap will be available. So, if girls need to wash their soiled clothes, then there is soap, there is water. Open defecation in and near the school is eliminated. So this is also important. This is also an important plugin when you're implementing programs such as community-led total sanitation. Okay, so you cannot ignore the impact that washing schools has in ending open defecation. Then the third is daily supervised use of drinking water bottles by all children. You will start to see that children will prefer to use water that they have already been notified is clean and is safe for them, and they will stop using water that makes them feel sick or gets them feeling sick. Okay, so these milestones are achieved in a varying manner from school to school, depending on existing facilities and the exact method taken for implementing the approach. In all cases, you might find that the key to becoming a 1-star school and the essence of the 3-star approach is the institution of daily supervised group activities for hygiene, sanitation, and drinking water. Okay. So by taking part in these daily activities, children become true participants in the process while developing positive lifelong habits. By hosting these activities, schools can also significantly improve the learning environment without relying on resources from outside the community. So basically what we're saying is for the 1-star level, schools are capable of achieving this level by just, using what is already available and making small, minor incremental changes, but also emphasizing on the daily supervision aspect of it. Then moving to the 2-star level, here you're expanding your interventions, still incremental, but it's a bit more than you would in the 1-star level. So the first intervention would be hygiene education being expanded to stress hand washing after toilet use. Hand washing stations would be installed as needed, and MHM would be delivered in schools. The results there would be that children would learn to wash their hands with soap at critical times. Hand washing stations would be available, especially during demonstrations, to the school-going children as well as to the community. And girls would also get to gain knowledge and support on menstrual hygiene management. Another intervention would be that there will be seen to be additional or improved toilets or facilities for MHM, where the construction is needed, then that would be done. Of course, additional toilets for school-going boys and girls means that they don't have to line up for long periods of time to access the facilities. And girls would be further encouraged to attend classes because they know that they have access to private facilities where they can attend to their menstrual hygiene activities. Okay. Then there is a low-cost point of use water treatment introduced in schools. So at this point now, children have access to safe drinking water in schools, and low-cost water treatment is demonstrated to the community. So now you're pushing the message further outward, not just the school, but you're moving out into the community. The technologies used to upgrade facilities in two-star schools we encourage as much as possible to be low cost, locally sourced and appropriate for use in households. This ensures that the program will be scalable, especially if you're talking about countrywide, which is a 3-star level. It also allows schools to demonstrate good practices to community members, a role that can be enhanced by encouraging and supporting students to promote good hand washing practices at home. All wash facility upgrades will primarily be the responsibility of the school and the community, with some support from the education system or ministry and from external support structures as appropriate. All right. Then the 3-star approach, basically you are upgrading to national standards. So the results there would be social norms on good hygiene behavior institutionalized. The school is able to offer full accessibility to wash for all students, including pupils living with disabilities. And then national inequities are eliminated by ensuring all schools in the country have the same standards for wash in schools. So 3-star schools will meet national standards for wash in schools, which are important for ensuring that the needs of all children are met and that any national inequities of access to wash in schools are progressively eliminated. Please note I've mentioned the word progressively, meaning that it's not, we go to sleep one night and the following day all schools have, facilities and everything is just aligned. No, it is progressive, meaning it is slowly built. And that is really the essence of the 3-star approach, that it is a progressive process, all right? Standards contain national norms for wash facilities, including requirements for design, the number of facilities by school size, and accessibility for children with disabilities, okay? Standards can also institutionalize hygiene education in schools, and they address issues related to the responsibility for maintenance and repair of facilities. Many schools and communities will need support from the ministry to upgrade facilities and systems to meet national standards, because it is not easy. Some schools will also require support from external partners. And in countries without comprehensive national standards, then you can lean on the global guidelines established by UNICEF and the World Health Organization as the water, sanitation, and hygiene standards for schools in low-cost settings. So this can be used as a reference for defining the criteria for 3-star schools. However, this should only be interim, as all countries should aim to develop national standards, and external support programs can assist in this process. Finally, the role of government and external support partners would come in largely in way of monitoring and certification of schools. As part of the 3-star approach, program managers may design a certification scheme for wash in schools that recognizes and rewards appropriate efforts by schools and communities. Each country and/or school district will define its own certification process and monitoring methods for the 3-star approach typically. But you'll find in all cases, the monitoring process will increase accountability, and the inspectors will rely on transparent country-specific checklists of indicators derived from the general approach criteria and based on WASH in schools standards. In some situations, external support agencies will also have a role in providing capacity building or other support for the certification teams, right? So options for certification include school inspectors or education outreach workers conducting monitoring as part of routine visits and or third-party inspections through approaches similar to those used to certify open defecation-free community programs. Participatory monitoring is key to achieving ownership and sustainability. So students, parents, school staff, and community members should all be involved in monitoring behavior and facilities. The program managers or the planners can incorporate sustainability into the certification process through time-limited certificates or by certifying a school only after it has maintained its status for a certain period of time, for example, 6 months or a year. So then you are assured that, the infrastructure that has been placed in this school is sustainable and scalable. Then finally, it is encouraged that certification ceremonies, are planned for. A good day to plan for these ceremonies would be perhaps during Global Hand Washing Day for maximum visibility, and school names can be published in the media, rewards, flags, signs, and certificates can be given. Why? Because we are human, children are also human, and they like to feel appreciated. Rewards go a long way. And if schools have something to strive for, once it's set up such that, you can brag about your 3-star level, then it becomes that much more fun and interactive amongst school-going children. So I think with that, I will say thank you. I hope some knowledge has been shared, and I'm looking forward to any questions or comments you might have. Thank you very much. I'll hand it over to Sheilah. Sheilah?
Great, thank you. Thank you so much, Susan. That has been really interesting, and I like the fact that as much as we had an internet issue, it was straight to the point, and we have been able to achieve the objective we had in mind. So I'm seeing already people have raised up their hands. I don't know if they're ready, but as they prepare, please, if you have a question, please raise your hand. Allow me to lower this hand first. Then please now, if you have a question, please raise up your hand again. Then this time now, I'll take the new people who have raised up their hand. So my first question is from Guya. How are menstrual pads managed in schools after girls change them? And maybe you can also answer, as part of WASH in school implementation, is it donor dependent, and how is it sustained in other countries? WASH in schools in South Sudan is donor dependent, and maybe you can give us scenarios of how WASH in schools is done in other countries. I think that one also, the rest of the participants can also tell us what is happening in your country in terms of WASH in schools implementation. Welcome.
Thank you, Sheilah. I agree. I think because this is a sharing platform, a knowledge sharing platform, we can all, plug in and give our experiences. So maybe just starting with that question would be that for the countries that I've worked in, it's interesting that in South Sudan, it is, solely donor dependent. I have been to countries where the schools themselves are able to, collect whatever resources they have available, whether it is in terms of labor or, readily available material. They're able to construct the facilities that they need. Remember, we're not talking about flashy, big, complex toilet facilities. No, we're talking about sound structures that both boys and girls can use and feel safe. Structures that can contain the excrete and can be, then directed to treatment and disposal. That's what we're talking about. Before we get to the 5 floors of toilets, no. That's what we're talking about, right? So in the countries that I've been in, you find that the schools are able to motivate themselves to come up with facilities or to just construct facilities that they're able to fast sustain. So that is what we would be talking about in terms of the no star to the 1 star. Okay, you'd find most schools, dance around the no star and the 1 star in some of the countries that I've worked in. Then it takes a bit more support, from government to move from 1 star to 2 star, and then to move from 2 star to 3 star. Then you find that external donors or partners would come in to maybe expand what has already been done, right? It's not always a linear progression. You might find that a school is built, it has, state-of-the-art toilet facilities, which is wonderful. But in most instances, you'll find that is that's a progress that will be noticed or achieved. It will be incremental. Some will be slower than others, depending on the finances or resources that are available to them. So maybe we can get a few others speaking on that. Then on menstrual hygiene management, many institutions have different ways of managing menstrual products. You might find that there are schools that are able to outsource that service, and you have companies that would bring in bins, collect the bins once they fill up, and replace with empty bins. So the school doesn't necessarily have to manage that, but that is quite costly, right? So it might not happen in a lot of schools. Most schools, you'll find that they'll provide containers or even buckets that are just, specifically for that purpose, for the collection of menstrual hygiene products. Once these products are placed in the bucket, then you'd find that in some schools, again, there is someone who has been employed to clean, the toilet facilities. So their work would also entail emptying these buckets or containers as frequently as possible. In other instances where the school is not able to afford that, then the students themselves, the girls themselves, would then be tasked to empty these containers or buckets as they clean the toilet facilities. Once the menstrual products are emptied, then the easiest and fastest way to deal with that is through incineration, right? Because a lot of the menstrual products contain material that is not organic, right? That would take years, millions of years to decompose. And therefore, incineration is normally preferred in terms of dealing with waste, with menstrual waste. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. I believe they have, and I'm seeing some hands are up. So I think I'll go with Ahmed Ginger. You can unmute and then speak and ask your question or comment. Ahmed.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Really, I'm from Somalia. Last Anod, I am a secondary teacher, and I very appreciate this program. It's very important here, and we are very dedicated and leading. This program is around us always, since our country is crashed our system. So can we advise to always reach some access to LH management, especially for girls or over the school system?
Okay, Susan, have you heard that?
I'm not sure if I quite captured it. We're talking about access.
Yes, Ahmed. Ahmed.
Hello.
Yes, please clarify your question.
Thank you very much, my bro. I am from Somalia, especially Seoul region. So this issue is about us, and we have no system about the hygiene system, especially for girls. So can we access um, that programs and teachers who promoting and giving lectures about this HE system? Since you are in Kenya, how could you help us to access these HE promotions for our students and our scholars?
If I hear you correctly, because I'm also having some bit of challenges here in your accent, but if you're talking about general, development of WASH programming in schools, then yes, for sure. In fact, UNICEF has many publications on WASH in schools and their development. How you like from scratch, you're able to develop a WASH program, a WASH in schools program from the information that has been released by UNICEF. If at any point maybe you're requiring technical assistance or guidance, then Humanitarian Global is your one-stop shop. There are many others just like me who have a lot of experience in it, and we are more than happy to provide the technical assistance as required. But do some bit of research. There's a lot of information on WASH in school.
Okay, thank you. And
the
yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of guys are asking if they could get a document for the proposal or activity drafting for WASH in schools. And then there's someone also who's asking, how can I write a proposal to the Ministry of Education about WASH in schools, since it's a major issue in Eswatini? Can I direct them to our upcoming class? I believe that's something that you will be covering, Susan, in our WASH in schools training that Ian had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much for that. So please, everyone who wants to learn how to draft a proposal for WASH in schools, please reach out to us and you can join a session or a class where we will get to do in-depth training on how to develop such proposals to reach where we need to. And finally, let me give one more question to a chance to Manju Kaba. Manju Kaba, please ask your question as we finalize the session for today, because I'm seeing time is up and we need to be winding up. Manju, are you able to ask your question? Okay,
Can you get me now?
Yes, we can get you. Can ask your question.
Yeah, Manju Kaba from Monrovia, Liberia. My question is, what could be the role of the school health club in achieving the 3-star approach?
Thank you, Manju. I'd like to point out, in fact, the school WASH club is a very important club to have in schools, because they are the first point of contact with any WASH programming in schools. Why? Because these are students who might have, gotten some bit more training than the rest of the students, have possibly a passion for WASH in schools, and possibly have, they can see the importance of promoting good hygiene practices. And therefore, they are the people who are then able to go and talk to the other students and explain, why we should be washing our hands, why we should be drinking clean water, why we should be using our facilities well. So WASH school clubs are very, very important. They are your champions. Basically, in any WASH programming in schools, the members of the WASH school club are your champions. So you want to plug into that and use, utilize it as much as possible. Again, it also helps you align your program and your approach so that it's not haphazard. Once you're just addressing students large, just by large, and you're just talking to them, sometimes it's not easy to measure the impact that is being realized by your WASH program. So by, having a group that is out in the school, talking to other students, measuring or gauging the understanding of importance of WASH in their school, they're bringing this information back to you, and you're getting to understand, where there could be some gaps and how you can take care of those gaps. So the WASH in school, the WASH clubs in schools are very, very important.
Good. Thank you for that. Manju, you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Thank you very much for your
Good,
explanation.
good. So I'm seeing a lot of guys. Please, I will be sharing the recording and the presentation by close of business tomorrow. So please check your emails then, and we'll be able to assist you. And I also want to appreciate the comments that we are getting. Like, for example, Johannes is saying, anybody interested in getting the experience, especially relating to menstrual hygiene, Child Fund Ethiopia is also doing something good in Ethiopia, and we will be able to give you a full report to your email so that you can keep up and see how best you can also do the same in your different countries. So that please ensure you've gotten that. And then also this has really reduced the girls dropout from schools using the interventions that the Ethiopians have used in this particular area. So please watch out for that, and you can be able to benefit from that. And finally, someone is saying, I think we should start with quantity or presence of wash facilities rather than quality, as it sometimes is, I've lost it. Yeah, yes, we should be able to, as it is sometimes in CLTS, so quality can come in as schools progress at other stars. Something that you can mention with that, Susan, as you wind up? It was just a comment anyway.
Yes, but I think it's good, Sheilah, that I comment on that. Safety in wash infrastructure, especially for schools, is paramount. Okay? So I'm not talking about, having these fancy roofs and everything. No, I'm just talking about sound structures that are able to be used by students. They feel safe. They're accorded the dignity they deserve as they access these facilities. So the safety you cannot push that aside with just thinking that I can put many latrines and then I'll come back to them and start thinking about how the door is hanging, or, maybe I should add a plank here so that it gives more privacy. So the safety aspect goes hand in hand. That one cannot be compromised. Quantity doesn't always mean that there's an impact. You could have 10 latrines, and I have seen this in many places. You have 10 stalls for girls, but only 2 are usable. Why? Because maybe the pits filled up, the door to one stall fell and it has never been, put back up again. The roof for a section of the stalls is off, so it cannot be used during the rainy season, and so on and so forth. So quantity is not always a measure. It's not always a measure of impact. So we need to be very careful about that. It's a balance that has to be struck. Thank you, Sheilah.
Good. Thank you so much for that. And Johannes is also saying using stick and carrot is important around schools, especially in high schools, though we need to really take care of these children by ourselves. And I'm happy about that. So please, this is one of the very interesting trainings that I think we will be having. So please make a point to join and attend this session. Susan will be spearheading the same, so you'll get to learn more about anything related to washing schools and how it can be improved with MHM as well. Lamin, you need the resources on proposal development. Please reach out to us and we will be able to provide you with more information. And for the rest of us, the ones who need monitoring tools in wash interventions using the 3-star approach, or you want to know how to handle and develop school wash budgets and how many departments do we need in improving wash in schools, please join us for our upcoming session so that you can be able to not only just be answered the question that you want, but also for you to learn more. Okay, you might not want to know about budgeting, but you will get to learn about budgeting, get to learn about monitoring and everything that we want to see how best can we improve and help our children as well. So with that, I think with your permission, allow me to end the session from there. I truly appreciate the commitment. I truly appreciate you being patient with us and being able to also learning from you, because you've not only just learned from Susan and HG, but also we have been able to learn a lot from you, and Susan also can attest that. So thank you very much. Please, I believe you have our details, so you can always reach out to us through our email or our phone number for more information, and also through our Discord platform, where we'll be answering some of these questions that have remained on that platform. So with that, allow me to end there. I wish you all well, have a good day, and happy Easter, even as we come to that festivities very soon. Thank you so much, and goodbye.
My name is Evans Cheptiram. I'm the Operations Director at Beam Children's Foundation, a non-profit organization working in Tarbo, Eldoret, Kenya. We provide educational scholarships and mental health counseling to vulnerable children in the slums within Tarbo. I learned of Humanitarian Global through a friend and wanted to do a training on leadership and project management. And I got a chance to attend a training, a 4-day training on project management. And I've learned a lot. My take home would be the change management and communication that I intend to put into work once I get back to my workstation, and see to it that this improves the services that we deliver to our clients.
Good evening, hi all. This is me, Shoaib from Somalia, particularly in Garowe, and I work with Receive Children as a WASH program officer. During my presidency and attendance of this course, I've gained a lot of knowledge about the WASH sector, particularly in each sector, whether it's water, sanitation, and hygiene. And I think that gives me more knowledge about my tasks and how I always do my tasks, and improve the way that I always do these activities. And the best thing that I would like to share with you is the participants' experience sharing. Like if I take an example for Abraham, the very experienced hydrologist, which always shares with us his knowledge about the experience of hydrology. And one thing that I would like to recommend my colleagues to take this course, as I always would like to take. So I'm expecting to give us more like these courses. And I say thank you, Humanitarian Global Institute. I really appreciate your role of improving the humanitarian stuff.